Mike, we got to talk hoops. It is the best time of year.
It is a great time of the year.
You know, we just had the LL League playoffs, Lancaster Lebanon League. And, you know, I don't think there's any surprises.
Apparently it's an Argyle time of the year, too.
Oh, yes. We coordinated this well. Thanks for reading my memo on that.
There you go. I sweat the details.
Speaking of sweating, nobody was really sweating these. The two teams that won the league titles in the LL League were who you would expect to have won it.
Yeah.
You know, there was a classic matchup in the semis for the boys. They called it, some people said, it might have been you, one of the best games in a decade. And thinking back, harking back to when McCaskey playing Hempfield, yeah, I could see it being that way. I'm talking about Donegal and McCaskey and boys.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about best game, but I think quality of the matchup. Because with Donegal being undefeated, the buzz in that building that night, which was unbelievable for something that we thought was sort of gone in high school sports. All of that stuff together, it may have been one of the most anticipated, and then the game absolutely delivered. Both teams were really terrific. Kind of unfortunately in our league playoffs this year, the sort of classic games were in the semifinals. I mean, the finals were somewhat anticlimactic on both the boys and girls sides.
The Lancaster Catholic girls won on the girls' side. And that boys' side, they turned away more. I've heard different numbers. It's like the numbers will grow, but more than 200 people had to get turned away from Conestoga Valley High School.
They definitely turned some away
for this matchup. I mean, it was packed house. And Donegal was their first loss, and I think they went into the playoffs 48-2 over 2 years, so they're like 49-3 right now. That's impressive. They have like 8 seniors. We're going to talk about them in a second. When I said to you after they lost to McCaskey was, are they any good? And you said, this is a team that can go far.
I was surprised how good they are. They're 5 very good high school players, very skilled and athletic enough that the skill can manifest itself. You know what I mean? I mean, if they can do it against McCaskey in terms of athleticism, they can do it against the teams they're going to face in the AAA postseason, which doesn't mean it's automatic that they're going to win districts or contend for a state championship, but it's in the realm of possibility, I think.
The ironic thing is their head coach, Ryan Butt, for Donegal, was the guy at Hempfield who played against McCaskey when he had some classic matchups with Perry Patterson and Jerry Johnson for McCaskey, and Hempfield had the Wilsons and so forth. I mean, he was part of some really good teams. So I think he's instilled this in his Indians in Donegal, and they're playing well. McCaskey and 4A is a team, they're smaller, but they're very quick, very athletic. Can they go far?
Oh, I think they can go far. I would be a little surprised if they didn't get to the district final, at least, where I'm expecting them to find Harrisburg on the other side, and that should be real interesting. They have terrific athletes, as McCaskey almost always does. The thing that I think sets this team apart is the overall skill level, the overall ability and willingness to pass the ball. They're really an unselfish team, occasionally almost to a fault unselfish, but they pass the ball very well. I'm not sure they're as good defensively, and I'm not sure they're as committed to 4 quarters of defensive intensity every single time out that they're going to need to really play for a long time. But they have the physical ability to be that, and maybe that's partly a byproduct of having had so many blowouts and the fact that you can outscore somebody. They've scored over 80 points, and in some cases over 100 points. I've got to believe they're one of the highest scoring teams in the state. And when you score 100 points in a 32-minute basketball game, that's pretty strong. So anyway, McCaskey, very talented, and we have some teams that should be playing for a while.
Good. On the lower side of it, Columbia in double A and Lebanon Catholic in single A. Can they do anything in these levels?
Well, Columbia is a dark horse. They're an under 500 team, but double A is almost comically weak. Boys double A, which used to be a real stronghold in our district, is not very strong right now. So you got to look at them as a dark horse. And then Lebanon Catholic is a very talented team that went through a slump here, kind of in semi-late in the regular season. Seems to have kind of come out of it, but they haven't played for a while. They didn't make the league playoffs. They've been on a break, but they have a real good chance to get to the final and play Greenwood, which is a team they've seen a lot in the postseason over the years. They play them in the summer. That'll be a good matchup if it happens.
Should be fun.
Absolutely.